Zen artists, welcome back to another video. As always, I am the artist Theodora and I am painting with ZenART Supplies. And today I'm gonna show you how to paint roses and a landscape using only the cat's tongue brush. And I'm actually pretty excited about this video because, as you can see, I am mostly a figure painter. I mostly paint people, and this is a rare occasion for me to paint a different subject, and it's a pretty good practice for me for my backgrounds in the painting, so I'm pretty excited. I hope you are too, so let's start. So this is the famous cat's tongue brush that is part of the black tulip set from ZenART. And before I start painting, I'm going to show you what you can do with it. You can paint fine straight lines with its tip, and you can paint all sort of wavy lines and wider lines just by adding a little more pressure. And you can also use it sideways for more wider lines. You can paint continuous thin lines for grass, that would be useful. And you can also separate its fibers for even more 3D effect lines for the grass or fur maybe. Just like this, you separate them and then you just very lightly dab it across the paper. And you can do washes because they can hold a lot of water, and it's practically perfect for washes. And you can also lift paint just like this if needed. So now that you can see what you can do with this brush, let's move on and paint some easy rose petals. Before I start painting, what I usually do is stretch my watercolor paper to make sure that it's not moving, or this way I can ensure that the paper won't bend from the pressure of the water, and it won't be wavy. When I remove the tapes, it would be straight. So now I'm starting with the roses, the first rose, and I am painting a little tight in the middle, and then as we move to the outer petals, a little more loose, and I'm adding another layer of color in the center where the flower is darker for a more 3D effect. And now mixing some green to add a few leaves. And when I'm painting the leaves, I'm just have a little light pressure, and towards the end of the petal I'm just adding more. And I'm gonna paint another to demonstrate, and then again I'm painting a little tighter in the middle and looser towards the outer petals. And I'm adding another layer of color, mostly in the middle section. And I'm also mixing some white for highlights in the outer petals. And now I'm painting the pentacle and some more leaves and its thorns. by adding light washes at its leaves. Now I'm mixing some orange paint for an orange rose. And again, I am following the same principle. And you mostly paint half circles, tighter in the middle and looser at the ends. And that's the effect for loose roses. And the cat's tongue brush helps a lot. So this is how to paint roses, pretty easy, with a few brush strokes and just one brush. Next, I am going to show you how to paint a landscape in a few simple steps. As you can see, I have added the darkest blue on top, and as we move down to the horizon, it becomes lighter. And now I'm adding some green and orange and some white in the middle to make this kind of ombre fading out effect. And I'm adding some red at the bottom. And again, I'm moving upwards to blend it in. And I'm doing some splashes. You just hold your brush and just tap it and eat lightly. And if you don't like some of the splashes, you can just remove them with paper, or when they're dry, just add some water and they will fade. And now I'm adding another layer of red paint at the bottom of the sky. And I used a hair dryer for it to dry a bit faster. And now at the bottom I'm adding some green, and I'm helping it dry faster with a hair dryer. For this landscape, I'm not really using a reference. I just took some inspiration from Pinterest, and I'm just sort of doing my own thing. And now I have separated the fibers of the cat's tongue, and very lightly I'm just dabbing it across the paper to make some fern effect. And now I'm going to paint a few cactuses, the ones you tend to see at the desert or the far west. And now I'm painting another one, just using the tip of the brush, because it's far in the background and it's a little smaller. And again, I'm using the hair dryer, waiting for it to dry. And I'm going to add another layer because I need it to be a bit darker. And again, with the tip of my brush, I'm just working at the ferns, and I'm adding a little more detail now and more washes of color. And I'm just keep adding until I'm pleased with the intensity of the color. If you'd like to see more summery subjects, the Sea Creatures video just came out, so don't forget to check that out also. Now I'm just adding a few dots for a more starry sky, just with the tip of the brush. And if you don't like any of them, you just you know, you can use the paper towel and remove it.
So that was today's video. I hope you have enjoyed watching. I hope you find it useful and learned something helpful. And don't forget to tell me in the comments, because I'm curious. Would you usually paint with a cat's tongue brush, or have you ever heard of this brush before? And as always, don't forget to share, like and subscribe. And
Until next time, I hope you're all well. See you at the next video. Bye.